Starting soon. What? What?
What?
Huh? Cool. Welcome back to another episode of the Album Book Club. This is the first episode of Season 4, baby. Woo! We brought on a very special guest, Mr. Jackson Tackett.
Yo, what's up? What's up? How we doing?
Yeah, put him on screen. That helps.
Yeah.
Lock in, bro. Lock in. You got it.
All right. This week we are checking out Knocked Loose's You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to, which Jackson recommended to us in his interview. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Jackson, you want to tell us a little bit about this album?
So it's by the almighty Knocked Loose, Oldham County, Kentucky. Been a fan of Knocked Loose for quite some time now. Got to recently see them twice on their headlining tours. But ever since they dropped it, like I believe summerish time, I've been a really big fan of what they've came out with. So I've recommended this album to these guys because I think hopefully they would like it. But hey, we all have opinions, so we'll see.
That we do. All right. We'll just roll into our top three. Jackson, you want to start it off?
Top three, you say? Okay.
Carl, what are you doing?
So, so top three songs. First is "The Calm That Keeps You Awake." Second is "Blinding Faith," and third is "Sit and Mourn."
Am I up? All right, my top three are Suffocate, Blinding Faith, and Don't Reach For Me.
My top three are Suffocate, Don't Reach For Me, and The Calm Before You Wake.
My top three are Suffocate, Sit and Mourn, and Don't Reach For Me. We'll now move into our bottom track, Jackson.
Unfortunately, my bottom song is "Slaughterhouse 2."
Yeah, okay. Mine is Moss Covers All.
Mine is Moss
Ooh.
Covers All.
Mine is Slaughterhouse 2.
Yes, someone agrees with me. Jeez.
Alrighty, that takes us right into our first track, Thirst. I gave it a 4 out of 10. Jackson? I fucked that order up.
Oh God. 4 out of 10. Oh man. Okay. I mean, I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10. Mainly because I mean, it's a great way to open the record, first of all, but I mean, obviously it's shorter and it's an intro track per se. So that's why I gave it a 6.5, but it's ridiculous overall. So
I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 6.
I will say, I own this on vinyl, this record. I am not a
Me too,
hater
me too.
of it. But I am a hater of the mix through AirPods, and it was ferociously bad. Especially like the guitar gain, it just couldn't handle it. It was peaking.
Oh,
It
that's
was rough.
hilarious. Love it.
I bet you can't. I bet that bass does not translate to vinyl at all because you can't put that much bass through a needle. Like it would.
Oh,
just won't
there's
take
no
it.
way.
I think it's just cleaner, like because
Yeah.
there's no bass.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I bet it does sound considerably better because that would fix most of my problems with the mix. That was something I definitely noticed on the first track. I really enjoyed the energy out of the gate on this album, though. That was probably the biggest thing. Just high energy, tempo changes, all sorts of good stuff. So, good way to start.
I'm going to say it now, and I'm probably going to say it again, but I'm going to try not to. I'm not the biggest fan of the vocals on this album. I liked most of what's behind it, though. So, minus the, like, I don't even know what it is, the, like, steel drum snare that plays throughout this album. It sounded fine today, but when I was listening in my car, it was rough.
No, I get why, because yeah, I mean the snare overall is just bong bong, you know, it's the dodgeball basketball snare, and honestly it fits in the mix pretty well in certain speakers, I should say, and certain songs specifically. But like all the songs are kind of rough, but certain songs, like I said, do have a side snare. You know, it has side snare action, so it's like more of like a thin type of sound more than what a fat snare sounds like. So I'm grateful they had some dynamic in that too.
For sure. Yeah, it sounded fine today in headphones, but when it was in my car, I couldn't pay attention to anything else. It was like ringing through the car.
Fuck yeah, dude, I love that.
All right, you guys ready to move on to piece by piece?
Yep.
Hells yeah.
Alrighty, I give this a 5 out of 10.
Oh, do you want me to go? Okay, cool. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's not my favorite by any means, but the riffage in the song kind of carries it, and the structure. I wouldn't say it's a boring song, but it's not their best when it comes to, I guess, just exciting songs. I don't know. I mean, it's a great way to come out of thirst, in my opinion. I mean, it flows pretty well. So, yeah, I give it a good 7.
Yeah, I agreed with you on a 7.
Hold on. I gave it a 6.5. I was pretty close.
Yeah.
Nice.
Other than the hater over there.
No, I mean, most of it just came down to the dislikes outweighed the likes on this listen, and it just happened to be Knocked Loose, I guess, wasn't the vibe for the day, but I mean, I own it, so how much of a hater can I be?
Yeah, no, I get it, bro.
It's like, just the mix wasn't hitting. I was noting that there should have been pinch harmonics in this song, and they came just like way later, and very subtly. They got very drowned. It's just
Yeah, good point.
The band felt like they were trying too hard to be a band in this song. Like, it felt like they just were like, we're gonna be a band, and you just felt like there was tension on that front instead of having fun.
That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. Just so you know, that sentence did not make any sense at all. I think I understand what you're trying to say, though.
It didn't feel like they were like one unit. It felt like it was a bunch of guys playing.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Structure-wise is a little odd, but it is one of the weaker. I would say it's somewhat of a filler track, in my opinion. So, like, definitely a B-side song, for sure.
So I just got word that my dad is trying to listen to this album. I
Oh,
warned him
God.
he was not going to like it, but
Great.
he's giving me updates. He's trying. This song, to me, this is where I turned the lyrics on because I had no shot of figuring out what they were saying in the first track.
Yeah.
It helped enough, but this song sounded to me too much like Suffocate. Like, I felt like this was Suffocate minus Poppy.
Which interesting comparison.
I don't know what about it made me think that, but
No, it's funny because, like, I guess I was in the mood for this today because I was like, man, this one came right out of the gate slamming, and I wrote, I love the groove and all the parts are fun. I just wish there was less guitar mud. There's so much mud in the mix from the. I don't know if it's just because they're down tuned or what's going on, in the guitar frequencies, but not only is the mix bottom heavy, but it just needs to be like pulled out of there so you could hear something else.
I do have
Oh, for
notes
sure.
later about how I was like, oh, I can actually hear what the guitar's doing like later on the album.
Oh yeah, I do agree about the muddiness, but I think that's what makes some of the songs sort of unique when it calls for it. For example, like Suffocate and even Thirst. I mean, you have no clue what's going on and what's being played when Thirst happens, but it's like it plays into the part of just gritty, muddy chaos, you know. But for this kind of song where it's like more technical, I do agree about the muddiness and how it's a little. There's a lot of mids that get lost and it gets just, you know, for sure. But it might be just a mixing, like I guess just select mixing. I don't know.
I think this is one of those bands where it's like a live show would sound significantly better and go so hard.
Oh my god, dude, Max can vouch for that. So both times Max has seen Knocked Loose has been with me. And every time we've pitted for the songs, and I will never forget when the first show it was Knocked Loose, Speed, Loathe, and Show Me the Body. And when Knocked Loose was like right up next, he was getting so anxious about it. He's like, dude, I'm so terrified right now. I wish they would just start the show. He's like, I'm not going in for the first song, dude. I'm so scared. I'm like, bro, it's gonna be fine. And prior to that, he saw at least 5 people get rocked from the other band. So it's somewhat intimidating, but it's still all in good fun. So he's a trooper now. So I'm proud of him.
Heck yeah. Alright, you guys ready to move on to Suffocate?
Yep.
Yes.
Alrighty, I gave Suffocate a 9 out of 10.
I also gave Suffocate a 9 out of 10. So the reason why is because all around, amazing banger of a single. Great choice of putting this out as a single. Especially when the leaks came. I wouldn't say leaks, but it was news medias and whatever. It was stating that she was going to be a feature, and everyone was like, Poppy, oh my god, Poppy on a Knocked Loose song, when she was already on a Bad Omens track before, which I wasn't expecting this performance by any means from her. So that raised the score up higher. But even then, like I said, I mean before, it's just one of those songs where the guitar hits stupid hard on it, and along with the rhythm section, drums, everything. And then even the Latin influence on the breakdown, the reggaeton beat, no other bands are doing that other than Body Box or whoever that are hardcore bands that are doing that. So it's pretty rare for bands to venture out and do weird stuff like that too. But yeah, I mean, dynamic duo of a freaking feature, man. So solid 9 out of 10.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I gave this a 9 as well.
Also gave it a 9.
Well, good.
Heck yeah.
Across the board.
What's not to love? It's poppy, it's metal, it's going hard. I mean,
Yeah.
The mix, it was really just the reason it didn't get a 10, because there's nitpicky things that I could pick and choose. And also, the snare really got me on this one. It pissed me off. It just shot through the mix, man.
And I loved it because in this one it's up, and I mean there's so many good drum parts in this track. I mean it's bonkers. It actually got the first time I've ever written ++ in the notebook for how good the breakdown was. I mean some of the stuff it would be super fun to play, and it's super impressive to hear it. I don't know.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah, I didn't have the problem I had on most other songs with the snare. I thought it fit really well here. But this was kind of the only thing that I had heard from this album before yesterday. And I didn't love it when it came out, but it has since grown on me. So I think I was more ready for this album because of this song.
This is the reason I bought the vinyl the day it came out. was this song. So
Hell yeah, dude. Respect on that. Honestly, I ordered the vinyl the second it got announced. So
all right, you guys ready to move on to Don't Reach For Me?
hell yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty, I gave this one an 8 out of 10.
I also gave it an 8 out of 10. Another one of those singles that they released, I think, like right after Suffocate, I believe. Great song choice. Only complaint about this song is that it's like kind of long for what it is. And the structure, perfect. The chorus is super interesting. Melodic chorus when it comes to the riff. And even leads too, and then I don't know, all of it's pretty damn solid, and then especially like the mid song breakdown's pretty sick. The riff is just stupid, ignorant BS. It's just nasty, and then it goes back to the chorus. But like by the last chorus, it feels dragged out in some ways, and then honestly, the ending breakdown kind of just saves it, in my opinion. But even then, like if I was bothered by how long it was, it's so stupid how good the breakdown is, so I didn't even care. But overall, like the mix was pretty good for this song too. So good 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually gave this one an 8.5.
I give this one a 7.
Well, I guess I'll go. The bass is the star of this track by a pretty large margin.
Ooh.
The bass feature thing that happened was just killer.
The like little Primus section.
I mean, it's really rare to hear a bass player like show out in this genre, and this was cool. I really appreciated that, and the breakdown was killer. The grooves were killer.
Carl, you have a fan.
Oh yeah, good.
I see that.
Yeah, they did some like layered screaming on this one where they had someone doing the high end and the low end, and it sounded immaculate. I loved it.
Yeah.
The guitar was so great, and yeah, the bass was just going nuts. I was at work moving stuff. I had to stop for a second and just appreciate it.
Yeah, this is the first one where I felt like I could like fully hear the guitar, and I was loving it. What is it? Oh, this is also where I think I got over my dislike of the vocals. It's like, all right, we're running with it. It's fine. But they did a good transition to this song from the last one. But if they meant to do one into the next one, it's not good. I really don't think they did. But if they were trying to do that, it did not work out the way they wanted it to.
So that actually, I'll talk about it later, but I was wondering if they play this in order as a set, because it almost feels like there's breaks after, like right here there's a break, and then later on it feels like there's a break for just a second, just to catch up or reset or whatever you need, and then it, like there's spots where it flows really, really well, and there's spots where it like gives you a second to take a breath. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I can't remember, honestly, but it was some of the songs they played in random order, too. So I guess it just really depends. They did play Moss Covers All and Take Me Home, obviously, together, but that's all I can really remember.
Alrighty, speaking of Moss Covers All, you guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty, I gave this one a 5 out of 10.
I gave it a 7 out of 10. Mainly, I'm gonna be a glazer for this song because I mean it's just hilariously short, and it's absurdly heavy when it comes to the breakdown. I just sudden start when it comes in, it comes just straight punching you in the face. Stupid riffage, diabolical drums too, and the tempo changes with the blast beats, pretty sick. And then when it, the call out line Barrenmore comes in, and it's just straight up chugging with its stupid caveman drum beat, and I don't know, that just tickles my caveman like fancy when it comes to like music like this. So it's like instantly I'm like activated in my brain, and I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I love it. So, yeah, I mean that's that's what it is for me, and especially the weird, like when I first, like on first listen, when the weird dissonant chord that Isaac plays in it, that caught me extremely off guard, and I haven't heard anything like that before. So that's also another reason why it's kind of higher, and the way it kind of just bleeds into Take Me Home too. So yeah, it's pretty solid for me.
So before I do my score, I have a really funny side bit. Steve Perry, when we did that interview, he talked about how his drummer would occasionally go Mongo, and that was exactly how he described that like caveman inner thing. And ever since then, like whenever someone said that, I've immediately been like, "Oh, go Mongo," and for whatever reason, that is implanted in my brain. Back to the track, I gave this a 6.
I gave this one a 5, and I can get mine out of the way and steal Logan's notes directly off of his sheet, probably. This is an interlude. They could have just put it on the next track, at the beginning of the next track. Interludes get 5s and 6s.
So, in fact, they actually did for the music video. The music video is the next two
yeah,
tracks together.
That would make sense.
Yep.
Yeah, that is ironically enough not what my note sheet says, but it was what I was gonna say. I don't ever read my note sheet. This is all a fabricated lie. I just riff everything.
Yeah, so I called it an interlude plus, since it sets up the next track so well, and it doesn't subtract from the flow or vibe of anything when it does it, I don't think. So,
No, it's on the same side of the vinyl, so it's
why it probably should have just been. I mean, I guess they probably did need to hit 10 tracks, but for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I did think that was really weird. It was kind of a weird choice, but I don't know.
all right. That was a quick one. Let's move on.
So
to
was the song.
Take Me Home. I gave this one a 7 out of 10.
I gave it 8 out of 10. Honestly, first listen was like, one of the tracks on the album I was not expecting by any means, because again, it's a hardcore band, so you're not used to experimental tracks like this at all. So honestly, when it starts, it's the same ominous, weird chords that Isaac plays, and then the drums come in with the bass, which is disgusting too. Shit is just immaculate when it comes to that. So, it's a weird trip. It's a weird trip. Weird tribal-esque vibes. Weird, like, in the middle of the woods type vibes. And then, when Brian's vocals come in, it's, like, even more scary. And then ambience. And then, guitars come in. Kind of weird all around. But then the build-up of, like, the ending, and it keeps building and keeps building, and it makes me feel like I'm being chased in the woods. Makes me feel kind of scared when I'm listening to it personally, because it's like one of those albums where I sat down and really tried to understand it, because from what the review said, I mean, usually when I listen to albums like this, I do that. So yeah, it's overall scary track, and they nailed the vibe they were going for with this. So yeah, pretty solid for me.
Cool. I give it a 7.
Give it a 6.5.
So I actually enjoyed Jackson's point about it being like a scary thriller thing, because I didn't even think about that, because I just wrote it kind of sucks some of the energy out. I kind of felt everything just slowing down a little bit, but the same emotion throughout the rest of the album, kind of forward motion was going. It just felt lower energy, so that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's actually what all of my notes were about, were the ambient atmosphere of this song. I was like, I don't even care the rest of the song. That part was sick. I want to sample that for like a short film or something.
Yep. Fuck you guys. Yeah, I mean, they hit all the marks. It was fun. I will say I had to restart this song like 5 times because I kept thinking that the last song was not over, and I wanted to be accurate for my notes.
Yeah, I was pretty convinced that I had accidentally skipped to the beginning of Moss Covers All like twice. So
I've never actually seen you two match before, just as a fact. Neither of your shirts have words or anything, so it's super funny. It's like dead on.
I realized the hilarious irony that under my flannel was the exact same shirt that Connor was wearing. So then I thought it would be funny to match. And we will move right into Slaughterhouse 2. I give this a 2 out of 10.
Jesus. That's crazy. 6.5 out of 10. Like I said before, bottom song was Slaughterhouse. Weakest song. Again, another filler song, I feel like, but it's like, since Slaughterhouse 1 kind of got the success it got, I don't know, I feel like they didn't need to do a part 2, but I feel like everyone was like, oh, do a part 2, it'd be so cool if it did, 1 and 2 on each other's albums. They did not need to do that by any means, but guitar work was pretty good on this song. Pretty basic for what it was. Overall, good. I think good message. It kept the same energy it did in the first Slaughterhouse. Overall, chorus is somewhat catchy. The callback lyrics from the first song is pretty interesting, but in certain points they don't fit in certain parts. I feel like it's somewhat forced. But like Chris and Brian together sound pretty well on this track, and compared to other songs, it's my least favorite. I always usually skip this song when I listen to the album, so yeah.
Wild. I didn't feel the hate. I give this an 8.5.
I gave it a 5.5, and I can go first. Thumbs middle. I did not really have any feelings whatsoever towards this song.
Look, I can explain it all. I genuinely got political jump scared, man. It just came out of nowhere. This was the first song I could register what the lyrics were, and then I was like, oh man, I don't want to be registering this right now. It was like 9 a.m. I wasn't ready for it. And yeah, it was one of those songs that realistically, it is like a 6. I just wanted to skip it, and so the longer it went on, the lower the score got. And I've also never heard Slaughterhouse 1, so call me a fake fan.
I'm in the same boat.
Hey, I respect it.
I don't know. I just really like the spooky intro, I guess. It was weird. I was just vibing with this today.
Was there like a wire or something on this? There was some weird percussion shit going on.
Yeah, I don't know. So
that was the next song.
Is it the next one?
Yeah, that's the next one.
Oh yeah, that is the next one. The mix again, it just buried a lot of the cool stuff that I think I could have heard better. Because I didn't hate the song by any means. I just wish the mix was better.
I could agree with that, honestly. I mean, the cool part about the song is honestly the beginning, like the main riff, like the chorus melody, pretty fucking sick. And they incorporated it into like a chuggy riff, like usual. But other than that, like nothing too crazy, I guess, for me.
Alrighty, that takes us to the calm that keeps you awake. I gave this one a 7 out of 10.
Glazer, I'm such a glazer for this song. 10 out of 10. My God, where do I start? So again, one of those songs where first listen, I was like, oh, sick, weird percussion. Never heard this in like kind of band like this before, other than like Slipknot, but it's completely different. But like the weird rototom, high pitched, like drums in the beginning, pretty sick. The groove that starts is pretty damn interesting too. Great drum work on this too. Shout out to Paxson, great drummer. Isaac and Nico, guitarists, they completely snap on the song, in my opinion. The riffage on the song is pretty complicated, and like at first, I'm not a guitar player, but like when I hear it, it sounds sick. But when I see them play it on video, it looks kind of ridiculous how they play it. And just putting those two things together makes so much sense for this song. And it's chaotic, it's melodic, everything across the board is pretty sick. Chorus is super catchy as well. It's like one of those songs where I feel like I'm also in a movie, getting chased in certain parts. Weird, haunting, like melancholy vibe overall. With Brian's vocals being in like weird mixing ideas with these vocals too. And then here comes the ending with like the weird dissonant chords over like the bridge to the breakdown. Really drives it in my opinion too. And then again we're going caveman mode here, straight up, literally just 0 0 0 0, crazy ass breakdown. I don't know, I'm just biased when they have like super simple breakdowns like this. So like the first time I ever listened to it, I was just like instantly stank face, disgusting, just. And one of those songs that were, you know, the it peaks out with the tone of the guitars and even bass. It's so muddy and disgusting where it doesn't even matter anymore. So I think that's why I like it so much, because it just fits for what they're going for. And honestly, the crowd loved it when we saw them when they played it for the first time, especially me and Max. So before I'm done, I have to tell this story about me and Max, if he's in here. So the last time we saw them was in October on their headlining tour at Kemba Live in Columbus. And we were waiting for this song to get played specifically because this is our favorite song, like as homies. And we were waiting for the breakdown section, right? And literally it come to that part, and we made people clear the fucking like a specific part of the pit. And like people were seeing me and Max eyeing each other because he was on the opposite side, I was on the other side, and I was like eyeing him. And I was like, I don't know what's about to happen, but it's about to happen. And it was like some weird like ISO play in basketball. And as the breakdown hit, me and Max did like a Oklahoma drill and straight up just trucked each other in the middle of the pit. And after that, it was like complete chaos. I don't even remember anything from it, honestly, other than that. So great song live, and that's it. Yeah.
That's incredible. I almost feel like we don't need to talk anymore. But I gave this one an 8 1/4.
I give this one a 7.5. I mainly the intro. Weird percussion sounds in the intro were great.
I think this one is a song that suffers from placement. I think if you swap this in Blinding Faith, it goes probably 1.5 points higher. Because I didn't hate any of this. I just hated Slaughterhouse 2 so much that it bled over. Like this is a B-side spot, and this is an A-side track. And Slaughterhouse 2 is a Z-side track that should get burned and kicked off.
That's very true. I definitely wrote that like by this point the mix was really getting to me. I think the song probably would have scored higher. This may have even been my top score if like the percussion hadn't been a little buried in the mix. You know, if all the cool stuff they hadn't worked to do, I couldn't tell what was there. But it's just a high energy jam the whole time. I think that's what it is. And I gave it, the reason it got an 8 1/4 is I literally wrote it gets an extra 1/4 point just for the brutalness of the ending. I mean, that has to be incredible live.
This one also did something that I've never seen before on Apple Music. With the little background vocal, like screams, showed up really little underneath the other ones and kind of shook a little bit. I've never seen that happen on any other song.
I don't think I ever read the lyrics.
I had to.
You can read.
Yeah, I had to prove to the people that I can read.
Damn.
Gosh, calling me out like that and shit. All right, you guys ready to move on to Blinding Faith?
Yeah.
Gave this one a 6 out of 10.
Honestly, another 10 out of 10 for me. Great first lyric for the album overall. First of all, I don't know, I feel like this is one of the songs where it showcases everyone's ability in the band too. Honestly, Brian goes crazy with the gutturals. Honestly, towards the end, that was such a shocker. I was not expecting it by any means. And then Isaac comes in, and Nico also has his moment. in the breakdown section too. Overall, like this song really showcases what Knocked Loose is about and what what their sound is overall. The vibe, the lyrics, the structure, pretty unpredictable, pretty damn good. Honestly, like the cherry on top for me is the breakdown. Honestly, the ending breakdown where it's bend the knee, child of God, and then he just does a pig squeal, and it just goes into complete chaos. And then it, sick double bass action, and then the second breakdown, it gets even slower. Which it also has another call out where it's Brian just going feral, screaming "Blinding Faith," calling out doing a call out of the song title itself. It's pretty damn sick, and honestly, it's a chaos in one song. I completely love it, and I just love the message too. Honestly, with like struggling with finding out what you're supposed to believe in, religion wise, and even down there where they're from and where you guys are from, I imagine Christianity and religion's all whacked out down there in all the churches and whatever, blah blah blah. But I feel like they really capture what they're trying to talk about in this song really well. So solid 10 out of 10 for me.
Awesome. I give this an 8 3/4.
Give this a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, so I'm still gonna back by that this was a 6. This was easily my favorite riff off the album, but very unfortunately, I have almost no struggle with choosing religion or any of that, and the message of the song really just goes over my head and just keeps on going, and I wave goodbye to it. So it's just not one that resonates with me. I could get behind all of the breakdowns and all of the guitars, but just there was no message to me, so it was just another metal song.
Ouch. I don't know, man. The groove was back, and I loved the tempo changes. That's literally all I wrote because I was so engrossed in so many parts of this song.
Yeah, tempo changes were cool. I like the guitar sound, but the like steel drum came back. I could actually hear it through my headphones this time.
Bro.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it fits so well for that ending, though.
It's because you make electronic music, and real snares have curves. They have sustain.
Listen,
they don't just
it
go
sounds
pop.
good in some places, and it's distracting in other places. And here it was distracting.
Yeah,
Nice.
Oh, that's crazy.
All right, you guys ready to move on to Sit and Mourn?
I have to get some
Yes.
samples for Connor over here.
Alrighty, Sit and Mourn.
I'll take some samples.
8 out of 10.
I gave it a 9.3 out of 10. Also, one of those songs where I was really surprised by the choice of ending the album too with this slower tempoed song. But even then, like I heard it out because it's like I feel like every band, metalcore-esque band, loves to end the album with a slower emotional song. I'm like, oh, they're going with this formula, cool. But it's different because considering their background and what they're really all about, I was like, okay, I'll hear it out. Sick. And then the weird ambience that came in before the riff was pretty ear catching. It was pretty cool as a drummer hearing the ghost notes and the cool groove with the side snare too. And then comes in the riff. God damn, man, that riff is nasty and simple as it gets. I feel when I first listened to it, I was like, again stank face when it came to it. I mean, it's super simple. I feel like it really puts your mind somewhere where you can imagine what the song is about. Honestly, it's like one of those songs where you have to pay attention to everything that's going on with a couple of listens. Pretty damn good lyrics, really sad lyrics actually. And I've never really heard like a song like this from these guys, especially. But even like knowing their past albums have been really emotional and really dark with lyrics and vibes and aesthetics. For example, their last EP they did, really scary. But man, like Brian's vocals really shines and it makes everything more surreal and emotional. Sounds like it's coming from, you know, his whole heart and chest. So makes it really really cool, and especially the ending where it slows down and it has that weird ambient guitar that sounds like it's a couple of rooms away. Really sets the tone for what it's all about, and you know it's all it's crashing down, and it, you know, a grand ending per se, and their way I should say too. But yeah, overall melancholy and just emotional and moving. Great song.
I gave this one an 8.
Give this one an 8 also.
Yeah, I can talk about it. It kind of had a slow burn in the intro, which I really, really enjoyed. And when they came in, I was really excited. And I actually wrote this as, you know, a good way to end the album. It kind of gave me a piece of the horror thing from earlier. It had a lot of the energy in the middle, and then it just kind of like stopped and then came back again later. Like I almost thought the album was over. Like I went to check and make sure there was half a track left. I bet that's awesome if there's like visuals running or there's something in the middle. It just was really weird how long that pause was, and it just caught me off guard. Nothing negative really other than that though.
Yeah. I had a fun time with the whole track, really. The mix was still like kind of rough, but I thought, ironically enough, the best. I couldn't decide if they had like recorded this song first or last, or just smack dab in the center, because something has changed about this. There's just a whole different feel to it, and I don't know if it's they came into it fresh, they were freshly burnt out, or they were like project burnout. But it's just, there's so much heart in it, and I'm just not sure where that comes from.
Yeah, no, this is a really cool track, and I think I like the beginning of it, but like that middle point where it cuts off and comes back, I was like, before I knew it was gonna fully come back, I was like, I'm actually okay with a 2-minute outro to this track. And then they did more with it, but yeah, I thought it was great way to end this.
Heck yeah.
I agree. I completely agree. Great different ending too, honestly. It's not typical to end a song like this on this kind of album, and it really does take away from like the horror scary factor, where it's like I feel like it gets somewhat realistic when it comes to the lyrics too. I feel like, I don't know what it's about for sure, but it's like the line, "Will you inherit my grief if I finally choose to sleep?" That one really sticks out to me. Crazy line, really depressing line too. But it's just like, what is he talking about? It's just it makes me ask questions, and it's like, damn man, this dude is going through it completely, and it makes me feel like I'm going through it with him, you know. So I think that's like one of the factors of this song, where it's like it snaps back to reality and what it really can be, and like the weird like ambience of birds and like the weird microwave noise that runs throughout the album really sets the tone too. I mean, it's like one of those small features in the album where it's unique and it makes sense for it to be there, and it's supposed to be like that. So yeah, pretty interesting ending track.
All right, we will move on to our pacing. I gave the pacing of this album a 7 out of 10.
Oh, by the way, I think I sent Jackson the one with flow still on it.
Oh, yours may say flow.
Nah, I don't think you did. You're good.
Does it say pacing?
Pacing, I have one down, but I'm just kind of like rethinking it now. Honestly, a good 8 out of 10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that's super funny. I actually gave this a 9.5.
I gave it an 8 also for pacing.
I think this is one that I just found myself fatigued by the end, and I didn't know if it was just because I was having to turn it up louder to hear things more to break through the mix, and it was just killing my eardrums, or what. But
So I definitely agree, but I didn't think the mix fatigue had anything to do with pacing on my score.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really? It made me want to skip tracks.
I guess that's
Because
fair.
I was halfway through them and I was like, I don't want to hear this no more.
I guess it's yeah, slightly different. Oh no. Oh god, I knew this was gonna happen.
Oh, we can't hear him.
Oh, he's muted. You're muted, Max.
Max, we can't hear you.
He doesn't know.
He's just
cheesing.
cheesing. Grandma, the microphone button. Hit it.
Wait, can you guys hear him? No?
No.
No.
Oh, I can hear him.
Oh, do you have Max muted or something?
I shouldn't.
He disappeared.
It's gone.
Oh no, we got an intruder.
Oh.
He's muted.
Yeah,
see the
he is
mute.
muted.
I can fix it. Hold on.
Oh, you're muted.
We're
Hold
gonna
on, let
fix it,
him
Max.
let him
Something
unmute
happened.
you.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I got it.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Everything's fine.
Technical difficulties.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's kind of. What are you laughing for, bro?
Well, your
we can hear you
text.
now.
You
Yeah,
texted me.
yeah, that's what I'm about to talk about right now.
Oh man. Here we go. Here we go. I'm ready to hear it.
I also can barely hear them.
Boo.
What do you say?
You can barely hear us.
Oh, that's because he's hearing us from the laptop speaker.
Yeah. Because they're pretty far away from that thing.
Yep.
All right. Can everybody hear everybody?
We can.
Is we good? Okay. Speaker
Listen.
mine.
Listen, I'm not gonna hijack this for long, but first off, I just want to say, like, I'm glad you guys reviewed this album. This is a super sweet album. I think it's a genre defining album for hardcore and where it's going. You know, Knocked Loose is a band that has found a way to take a genre of music that so many people hate and have disdain for and get it on Jimmy Kimmel. I think they deserve some flowers for that. And I have to give credit to Jackson for making me really come around to this band, because when I used to listen to them, a lot of the stuff you guys talk about, I only paid attention to that. I didn't see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that this is a group of guys that make super heavy, unapologetic music that is uniquely their own. It's got, like, every song that they write feels like a song that they would write. And that is, I mean, you have to give credit for that, for having a sound that's original and unique to them. So I guess I'll start there. The other thing that I want to say, and I'm about to start grilling some of y'all, is the mixes. The mixes on this album are absolutely some of the best mixes in metal, period. Drew Fulk, what he did with this album, mixing wise, has got to be studied, because all the stuff you guys are talking about, I cannot relate at all. I think music that is in the heaviest tunings that is literally physically possible, and make it not only legible, but completely punchy and dynamic and have feeling and be melodic. I mean, dude, we're talking about songs that are in drop G. I mean, these guys are practically playing with two basses in the band. And the music it's not only legible, but you can feel it, and you can feel the dynamics in it. I think the mixes, these are some of the best mixes on in the world, man. So I think, like, I would challenge you guys to go back and listen to a couple of the songs and just listen for the fact that these songs are not in standard tuning. These songs aren't like Guns N' Roses, man. These things are these guitars might as well not even be guitars.
Max
And
Guns N'
that's
Roses
why-
is an E flat.
That's why it's unbelievable.
Dude, hell yeah. I couldn't agree more, bro. Honestly.
So, but all right, man. ABC, thanks for letting me hop in and hijack Logan. To be fair, you asked me to pop in here, so
I did.
you can't
Also,
blame
Max,
me. He
I own
you
this
did DM
album.
me, bro.
I like these guys. I definitely think the mix in AirPods is atrocious, and the real answer is if I listen through my studio monitors, I'll hear every little thing that we're going for.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just like 9 out of 10 people are either going to listen on AirPods or their phone speakers, at least from a a non-commercial point. If people are just getting snippets of the music, so that's why I use them. And it was just it wasn't like unintelligible. It was just really, really dark, is all it was.
Yeah, it's super dark and it's very distorted. I mean, the mixes are extremely aggressive, and it's the aggression in the mix that again I think is so fascinating, because some of you guys made remarks about the snare drum. That snare drum again is it intense? Yes. Does it dominate the mix? Yes. But my God, is it like, I think it's so good. I like when I hear that snare drum and the punch that you get from it, and there's a certain amount of decay that each hit has, that it just stays with you, man. And that gunshot snare that they have found a way to just make it feel like it's larger than life. I mean, again, now so many people are trying to take that snare and sample it and use it in their music. Again, like Knocked Loose is pioneering a whole new wave of people that are trying to rip their sound off. And if you're doing that, then you're doing something right. It's always going to be subjective if the sound is good for you or not. But if you're able to pioneer somebody to be like, man, I got to steal that shit, it hits on a different level. So, just some food for thought on that.
Yeah, I
Damn
mean,
straight.
so it's not that I don't like this genre. I don't like dark mixes. I don't like muddy mixes. That's the first thing I fix is I cut low mids, and that's all that was in this track. It's just not to my taste. That's all it is. Or this album overall is very, very low mid focused, and that's the first thing I cut out of most mixes. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, it is bottom heavy, and if you don't have the right like sonic, the right sonic vessel, we'll say, like if you're in a car with busted speakers, bro, don't even press play, because it's gonna sound terrible.
True.
You know what I mean? Like if you got like a '98 Toyota Camry, like, brother, just wait till you get home.
Straight up.
But like, listen, regardless, I don't want to hijack this anymore. I appreciate you guys letting me hop on and throw some guest commentary. Logan, man, you got to stop giving songs 4s, bro. You got to stop doing that, man.
Never. It's subjective. I'm allowed to be a dick.
So I'll talk about this later. He just missed all the beat boops. I was super happy they weren't here, but all music Logan likes has beat boops in it. He missed his beat boops.
That is just completely not true.
Every album that he gives like a cumulative score, it always hits at a 7. Which, by the way, for the record, my score on this album is like an 8.3. So I know you guys are about to get to that point, but this album is I had 3 top 10s on this thing. No, 2 top 10s, but still. All right, I'll leave you guys to it, man. But Logan, man, take it easy on my boy.
Oh man,
See ya.
crazy. Later. That's my dog. Hell yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Anyone else have stuff to say about pacing?
Oh, I just wish they didn't split the 2 tracks on pacing. I don't know if like 10 tracks was a contract thing, because I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that, but like the fact that they did it on the music video and it worked better, that was my only point. I actually liked how the whole thing listened as an album overall, and that's really impressive. Actually, that's really, really impressive for what we're listening to.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. It's the one track or the 2 tracks that could have been one track. It flowed. I mean, it's not that long of an album to begin with, but it flowed really good.
Oh my God, Carson's watching it live.
I saw that.
All right, you guys ready to move on to album art?
Yeah.
I gave
Yeah.
this a 10 out of 10.
I also give it a 10 out of 10. It makes total sense for what it's going for. So pretty damn simple too, and aesthetic. Weird aesthetic at that.
I don't know. I gave it an 8. I probably wouldn't have bought it just based off the album art.
I think as a picture, it's 10 out of 10. I think it's great album art.
Oh, I guess I want some like robot sword fighting or something. I don't know.
That's fair. I don't know if I would buy it not knowing what it is, but I never blind buy metal anyway. So if it was in that section, I wouldn't either way. But
It's just a fair choice to make. But yeah, I kind of did blind buy the rest of the album based off of the album art. I hadn't heard anything other than Suffocate when I bought it. And I don't regret buying it. I very much enjoy listening to this vinyl. I've spun it like 4, 5, 6 times, which for one record is a lot for me. So yeah. You guys ready to move on to the album overall?
Hell yeah.
and yes, Carson, I did say flow.
Jackson, if you just want to kick this off, then we'll wrap all the way around.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kick it off, you say?
Yep.
Okay. So just music overall, yeah. Honestly, I mean, yeah, 9.5, I should say. Other than like the small critiques with guitars and certain songs where it's like you don't understand what's going on, but it kind of makes sense that that's what it's supposed to be like, you know. Other than that, honestly, in some of the filler songs, great musicianship, great tones, amazing, honestly, drum sounds as well. Big fan of like the boomy drums, and it's not too boomy to a point where it's like it's harsh in the mix. Other than the snare, that's a different story. But you know, when it comes to mix of everything, even the cymbals, like it's loud, but it's like it makes sense, you know. So guitars are great. The tones were ridiculous. This is like a newer tone they started doing compared to Deep in the Willow, and everything is quiet now. More of like a weird, it sounds digital, but it's, I don't know, that sounds silly when I'm saying digital because it is digital technically, but like I don't know, it just sounds odd because Max even has it on his pedal or whatever, or I forgot what it's called. He got it off of like a app or website where Isaac himself put his tone on there for you to download. And Max has it, and he played it on his amp, and like it's so ridiculous, honestly. Never heard a tone like that before, and there's like some weird chorus sounds with it. I don't know what they do, but they really honed in on their craft and tone. And kudos to them, man. They know what they're doing. Yeah, overall, like just musicianship and stuff like that. Quad cortex, that's what it is. Yeah. But musicianship, honestly, I would say it's 10 out of 10, but the minor stuff, you know, so 9.5. Yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. I gave it an 8 overall.
I gave it a 7 overall.
I am also sitting at a cool 7 per Max's prediction.
I mean, I can go if you want. This is not my genre by any means, but I really did enjoy this album. You know, it definitely lost a point for like me having to be in the mood to listen to this, and that's part of it too. You know, like I understand somebody was commenting like just listen over better equipment, and I don't disagree. This is not something that I would ever casually listen to, just because of a few of the tracks maybe, but this is not something I would put in my playlist overall as an album. But there's just something to be said about the way it fits together, the way it feels. Yeah, it lost a couple points for the mix, but it gained them from not having any beat boops or weird stuff going on in it like Posthuman did. No offense, I'm not about that kind of thing. You know, leave it out in the music. I'm fine with samples, but leave the robot noises out. So I don't know. You know, it was a mixed bag for me, but I will go back and listen to some of their older stuff. You know, this really did impress me that much. It's just gonna be, when do I have a day to sit down and make it that thing?
Yeah, Carl, I'm about on the opposite side of the beat boops argument. I liked this more than I thought I was going to, because I knew going in I was not a huge fan of the vocals. But I will say, if they ever drop like a instrumental of this, I'm picking it up 100%.
Yeah. Most of my bitching is just I'd rather go see this performed live. The honest answer, I like the album enough to buy it. I will go to a show if I'm feeling it. And it's going to be not an issue of like, oh, I don't want to go see these guys. It's going to be like, am I feeling going and fucking my back up today?
And that's another thing. Like, listen to it loud. This is something like
Yeah,
I didn't get the chance to do that today. You know, I had it like medium high, but you know, just loud. This is one of those things that you should experience like that.
Oh yeah, this is definitely best meant for speakers. But the name of the game on the album book club is pretty much just listening in the most common way you can find possible that's available to you at a time.
Yeah, I completely agree about the loudness, and it is one of those one of those bands where it's like a must see live to understand too. It's like the same thing with Turnstile. Honestly, their latest album was like indie alternative, and everyone was like, they're not hardcore anymore. They're not, blah blah blah. They want to judge them off of a specific sound they kind of want to go for and what they want to write. But man, if you heard these indie pop alternative rock songs live, I've never seen so many people start spin kicking before. Like, the roots are still there, So it's like when people call Knocked Loose not hardcore anymore, I'm like, you should probably go see them live, because that's totally different than, you really have to see it live. That's a quote by the Turnstile bassist. You really have to see it live to understand. So I think that's like a big main point for them too, and where they come from, they stay true to themselves, which is one of the things that I respect about bands like that. So
it's very true to the whole genre. You really should see it live, like, even if you don't hop in the pit. I mean, it's funny, my first hardcore show, I was wearing a button-up shirt and like khakis, and people were like, what the hell are you doing here? But super fun. I didn't wear earplugs, so I was deaf for like 2 days. I mean, there was probably 20,000 watts in a room not much bigger than our studio here. So it was pretty brutal.
It's like, ironically enough, any of the hardcore bands I've ever attended to like are ones I've seen live.
Yeah.
Because I get it. I'm there. I feel the energy. I'm like, yeah, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah, it's different.
It's all about the culture too.
Yeah, you just have to like feel the energy coming from what it is. There's so much of it that they can't get it into their recordings, no matter what they do. And I definitely agree with what Max said earlier about the mix. It translates the energy a lot better than what you probably could. I think that's why this
you feel it
so
more than you hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But it sounds like I just gotta throw it through another 1,000 watts and see if that does the trick.
And especially the bass drops, it's even better.
Yeah. We ready to move on to our favorite segment of the show?
Think so.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Jackson, it's our favorite segment of the show. It's called the Plug Yo Shit segment.
Oh boy. So plug my shit, eh? Okay, Jackson Tackett, JAXSON on all platforms. Literally just my name. That's about it. Shout out Outside of Heart, my band. Outside of Heart OH, all platforms as well. We just released a song called Growing Pains, featuring Coley Hutzler from Beauty School Dropout, our homies. Big shout out to Max, especially. He's a big homie. He's one of the reasons why. I didn't even know most people I know now. Great homie, like a brother to me, honestly. Shout out. Wow, I'm on the spot now. This is crazy. Shout out my family, I guess. Yeah, I mean, overall, I just shout out these guys that are putting me on this right now. Big thank you to everyone who's watching and involved, supporting me. I'm supporting them as well, so they can fucking do this cool shit. So, yeah, that's about it. That's my plug shit section, man. Hell yeah.
Alrighty, yeah. Big thank you for coming out. I will recommend this album on vinyl. So go support local, go shop local.
Hell yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next Friday. We're back. Don't know what we're listening to. It'll be something.
Hell yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Later. It's a pleasure, dude. I love yapping about music.